This cooking and nutrition portion brought to you by Save On Foods.
Chef and holistic nutritionist Andrea Potter is here from Rooted Nutrition to teach us something called calzones. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So calzones, what are they all about?
From scratch, which means making your own dough. And we're going to make this dough with a spelt crust. So we're starting with 2 cups of spelt flour. I'm just going to add a little bit of nice salt.
Okay.
Do you want to grab that water and just pour it in the center here and make like a well?
Okay.
You can put all of it in.
All of the water?
Yeah. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. This makes a nice rich dough. And then, can you see here that the yeasts have started to become kind of frothy?
Yeah.
So we know that they're alive.
Okay.
And you can put them in.
Perfect.
And then you just stir, like starting from the center out. So once it gets to this kind of
that consistency,
dry enough to hold, then I just get my hands in there,
right,
and start kneading it in the bowl. When you're rising the dough, you actually want it to have a nice shape so that it keeps the air inside.
Right.
So I make like a nice circle with it. The gluten strands actually keep the air in.
Right.
That's how you get a nice rise.
And because of the yeast now, it's gonna rise further, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's go wash up, and then we'll come back and make the filling.
Perfect. Okay.
So I'll get you to stem the chard.
Okay. In here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like your technique, unzipping it. That's good. So I'm just going to chop up some zucchini, and we're going to roast these veggies first.
Okay.
Rather than putting them in raw.
Okay.
And just slightly roast them. Kind of adds more flavor, a little sweetness. Mushrooms are one of my favorites.
Yeah, mushrooms are great.
Could you crumble some oregano into there?
Okay. Perfect. Oh, even the smell is so great.
And I like to add a little bit of vinegar to this, just to bring out the flavor of the vegetables. So you can use balsamic. I'm actually using rice vinegar in this one.
All right.
Just a splash, and then
salt.
A little bit of seasoning, a little bit of olive oil.
Perfect.
So I'm going to go pop this in the oven for about 15 minutes at 350.
15 minutes at 350. Okay.
Depending on how thick that you chop the vegetables. But these vegetables are quite nice when they're a little al dente. So.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, so we're ready to go. And I can tell that the dough has risen enough by just pulling up the side, and you can start to see where the gluten has formed and the bubbles are happening. The way I do this is just pull out the dough.
Okay, bring it out.
And it depends on how big you want them. You could do a couple of big, like family-sized calzones and then cut them. We're going to do a couple individual ones today.
Okay.
And a little bit of a technique to this. You may need to dust with flour, but first just kind of get a feel for the dough.
Yeah.
So you just move it in circles with your hand. This takes a little bit of practice. It looks really easy.
But it's not. So I think the key is to pick up the speed a bit. I'm just comparing the ones you did to the ones that I did. No.
They're a little rough. It's okay. It's going to be filled with cheese, and then everyone will forgive you.
Absolutely, yes.
We'll each grab one.
Okay.
Do a little bit of a sprinkling for this underneath.
Okay, and
we're going to roll these. You actually want more of an oval than a circle for this.
Okay.
And if it's sticking, just add more flour. So I'll just demo one. I'm using a soft goat cheese. Any pizza cheese would be good, but the soft goat cheese makes it like a really beautiful creamy center.
Just on top of the filling, okay,
and then we'll roll it over. Just fold it over itself.
Yeah.
Everyone does a different kind of crimping on this side. I do a rope for mine.
Okay.
And then I'll just like carefully move it. As long as you don't have little holes where the air is all going to come out.
Oh, that's the okay.
That's all you need.
This is really good, Andrea. Especially the taste of the veggies and the cheese come together really nicely.
Yeah, and whole grain dough that I think everybody would like.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you can find out more about calzones in today's Vancouver Sun, or find out more about this recipe online on vancouversun.com/empoweredhealth. Andrea, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.